Hey guys, Spirits Vessel here, and I am doing the June 2019 tarot reading for Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. And I'm curious about this reading because I'm a Sagittarius, and that's why I'm starting with Sagittarius. Oops, I should probably mute my phone. But yeah, I'm curious to hear what's going on with the other Sagittarians that are out there because May was interesting. May was kind of a dark month, to be honest. That Scorpio full moon was pretty intense, and if you're a Sagittarius that has a lot of Scorpio energy in there, that might have been a kind of heavy full moon. You know, enlightening. For sure, very enlightening full moon, but heavy nonetheless. So it'll be interesting to see what's coming up in June, because June is the month of Gemini, at least the first part of it, and Gemini energy is opposing Sagittarius. So relationships are going to come to a focus during that time. Life is going to feel like it's kind of mirroring you a little bit, and yeah, let's see what's going on with that. So I've got Judgment, Two of Wands, Knight of Swords, Five of Wands. All right, Empress, cool. The Moon, okay. The World, I like that. Okay, well, what have we got here? So, I think there is an end to a karmic cycle. I think there's been a bit of a coma that Sagittarians have been in for a minute. Maybe coma is not the appropriate word. Maybe it's more of like a sleep, like a stasis period. Like there really hasn't been a whole lot of action for Sagittarius. I feel like there is a bit of a slow period, but that seems to be waking up. There's more fire energy going on. I think that probably the stasis was the fact that there wasn't a whole lot of clarity. A decision needed to be made, and there was a lot of stalling on that decision. But I think that the first week, if there was still confusion on the decision that needed to be made, there's not going to be any more confusion. There's going to be a delivery of news that will allow whatever Sagittarius is speaking to have the whole story. It's going to come quick. It's going to come very quick. It's going to come in the way of like, someone tells you a bit of information that you didn't have before. It could be about someone. Feels like it's more of a legal matter. That's just kind of the feeling I got. If not a legal matter, then job related. There is some uncomfortable energy coming into. There's a little bit of bickering going on with the inner circle, and just inner tension going on. And I think this is because there is a new you emerging, a you that is a lot more confident. And this is something that, the way I do reversals, I do them as like it's inward energy. So this is an internal transformation going on, or whatever the theme of the card is. It's something that's going on internally. It's something that's mulling around in your thoughts. It's something that's being manifested, but it hasn't actually physically actualized yet. And with the Empress here, I think this is kind of this is the signifying of the end of the karmic cycle. I think there's now a new person coming out, a new version of Sagittarius that's a lot more in love with themselves, and I think it's causing some tension. Either it's an inward tension because there's a hard time sort of assimilating this new person into your life as it is, or there's tension because sometimes when we make changes, it disrupts the equilibrium of other people in our life. So even if it's in our best interest to change, it can be upsetting to other people because they're so used to seeing us in a certain way. And I feel like there's a little bit of deception as well with the self in regards to who am I really? You know, I'm really getting that from this spread. It's like, who am I really? And there's a lot of reflection being done because of the moon. It's interesting because the moon is that full moon's going to be in Sagittarius this month. So I think it's going to be a very powerful moon for Sagittarians. The Sagittarians who are going to be watching this video, I think they are going through a little bit of an identity crisis. But I don't see it being too crazy because there's no Tower card here. You know, there's no Devil card here. You know, yeah, there's a Five of Wands, and that's a little like, but there's not a whole lot of chaos going on. But for some reason, when I'm looking at this row right here, I really am feeling like there was some sort of internal change that happened to turn the Sagittarius into the Empress, and it's just it's coming as a bit of surprise to other people. It is what it is. The World, the Two of Cups, and the Magician down here. You know, I think that all of this that's going on right here is leading us down here to the real transformation that's happening. And it's interesting because the way I see this, it's like the World is the mastery of everything. You've done it all. You've mastered it. So now you get to move on to a new phase. And you know, you've got the Two of Cups right here in the middle, right in between this Magician. Now the Magician and the World are both upright, and the Two of Cups is, you know, reversed. I see it as an inner alchemy going on. There is this mastery of the magic of Sagittarius, because Sagittarius is a very magical sign. Sagittarius, like, we aim our bow and arrow at a target, and then we hit that target, and then we go find another target and we hit that target too. We're constantly in search of like bigger and better prizes. We're constantly in search of expansion. Sagittarians, you know, it's like they're known for wanting to travel and being adventurous because there's always something new that can be learned. And Sagittarius is so fucking optimistic. Like, there's no other sign in the zodiac that's more optimistic than a Sagittarius. And because of that, magic happens to Sagittarius people. It's like I could I have so many stories, like, yeah, for myself, but then other Sagittarius people I know that it's just you hear stories and it's like, how are you still alive? Like, what the fuck is going on? Um, but I kind of feel like a lot of Sagittarians have been in a slump, especially the ones that have been born around like my age, like late 80s, early 90s, because they're hitting their Saturn return. And I think the magic has kind of slowed down for them a little bit. Like they forgot that they can create their own reality. And I kind of see that there is this merging going on. Now, it could mean that it's, a starting of a new relationship, but I think it's more of like a starting of a new relationship with yourself. And there's this connecting of mastery of the self, and I think really in areas of self-love. And this feels right to me because we just got out of Taurus season. That Venus in Taurus really activated that Uranus in Taurus that just switched this year after being in Aries for like 8 years. And I think there's like an alchemy taking place between knowing that you really are a master and knowing that you really do deserve the good things in life. And the magician and the world coming together is a very good sign, because the magician is that magical potential, but it's just potential until you have a mastery over your ability to manifest this stuff. And I think there's a new passion, a new project, whether it's like artistic or career related, whatever it is, it's emotionally satisfying. It could be love. It could be love. But like I said, it could be just a new spark in your life, a new hobby, something that really makes your heart sing, though. And it's interesting because, we're in Gemini season, and Gemini, it's not quite like about partnership like a Libra would be, but Gemini is symbolized by the twins. It is mercurial. It does like to communicate, typically with someone else, right? And the twins too. The number 2 is a Gemini number, and we've got 2 2s in this reading. Fire and water. I think it's going to be a very emotionally stimulating month. And there's going to be a lot of new energy coming in. It might not feel very grounded, though. You kind of might feel like you're getting swept off your feet a little bit. And that makes a lot of sense because we're in an air month. And we're coming out of Taurus. Taurus felt very grounded. And probably that's why I thought it was kind of a slow, dark month. But yeah, it's not a bad spread, especially this bottom row here. Yeah, I think there's a bit of a coming out of a fog, and definitely because of this Judgment card here, definitely the end of a cycle. I think that Scorpio full moon did it, and I think that Scorpio full moon was just so powerful, and it was really wrapping up a cycle of quite a few years. So I'm gonna pull one more card just to kind of clear the reading. Ooh, the Star. Kind of get some more information about that. Ooh, Death. And the Fool. And you know what? I think this is what that says to me, is that I mean, I knew it. I knew it. It's funny because I hadn't gotten the Death card yet, and I hadn't gotten the like tower or devil or anything like that, but I knew there was a transformation taking place. And I really do feel like um, a lot of the heaviness that Sagittarius has been feeling is just a lot of mental chatter, a lot of mental anxiety, and a lot of it's mostly all self-inflicted. I mean, look at that. You've got the Eight of Swords here, and the Eight of Swords always means that it's the prison we put ourselves in. She's not tied up by the feet. She can walk out of that. She really can. And I think you are. I think Sagittarius really is walking out of that because the Fool is here. So it's like a whole new cycle. Except this time, you've learned everything from this. You've got the world here. You've got the world. You've got that mastery. And now you can be a fool and start a new journey with all this information that you've gained on your previous journey. It's time to start a new one. It's time to start a new adventure. So that's the reading thus far. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, like and subscribe. And if you would like a personal reading, hit me up at spiritsvessel@gmail.com. I will have the email in the description box below. Thank you so much. Have a good evening.